Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sydney. I am a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner here in San Diego, and on this channel I really like to just show my life of somebody that lives very intuitively. I'm always trying to listen to my intuition and just live an intuition-led life so that my soul is happy and I'm not just living based on expectations of the society that we're conditioned to live in. And so today I just wanted to kind of talk about dry January because I've actually never done dry January. I'm 30 years old. I have been drinking alcohol, of course, since I was 21. So I'm somebody that normally does drink, socially. And this year, my boyfriend and I decided, kind of just on a whim, that we would do dry January. I don't know, like there wasn't much thought put into it. We just kind of decided to do it. So, this was around January 5th that we decided this. We hadn't had a drink since, or I hadn't had a drink since New Year's Eve, and he hadn't really since Christmas, so we were kind of on track there. So January 5th we decided to do dry January. So since then we haven't really had a lot of opportunities to go to social events because I feel like after the holidays people are kind of just wanting to relax and chill because there was a lot of socialization in December, so people are just finally starting to chill out and just relax. So there hasn't been a ton of temptation, here and there. If we go to dinner with, family or whatever, it's like, yeah, it'd be nice to drink, but we're able to push through those times. I think it was only one time we actually went to dinner with my parents, and my dad doesn't drink, so that, I don't know, it was fine. And I was ordering a soda instead of alcohol. So I feel like the first week-ish I was craving sugar more, I think. I was like really wanting a sweet treat. I feel like maybe the first week or two I was kind of craving a sweet treat instead of alcohol, because alcohol really, you don't realize how much sugar you're taking in when you drink alcohol, because like if you're mixing stuff in it, and even the alcohol itself I think processes in your body as sugar. So my body was just kind of craving that sugar intake that it was normally getting, I guess. And so I was ordering a lot of soda, but then I started to break out a lot because like when I have an excessive amount of sugar, I start to see it, in my face. I start breaking out like under my jaw. And so, I kind of just noticed that, and I was like, okay, I don't need to be ordering soda every single time instead of a drink, like I can just drink water, and that was fine. So I feel like the sugar craving kind of went away. And so I made a few lifestyle changes starting in January. So of course the dry January, and then I also decided to start working out more often because I actually wasn't working out at all. I wouldn't go to the gym at all. And so because I was eating whatever I wanted during the holiday season, I just didn't feel as healthy. So that's why I wanted to start going to the gym. At least, honestly, if I just went one time a week, I was gonna be happy. And so I did start doing that. It's kind of been every other day or every third day that I've been going. So it's kind of hard for me to tell whether the sugar cravings went away because of me working out or because of the lack of alcohol that I was consuming. Because honestly, this is getting kind of deep, but I do feel with alcohol, it kind of drowns out your true emotions, right? I mean, that's why people do drink, right? Because it's kind of drowning out emotions that you don't want to feel. That's why, I mean, that's why I drink socially sometimes, because I'm like trying to drown out, especially as an empath. I'm taking in so much energy at a time when I'm at a social event. So when I drink, it kind of numbs that feeling of taking everything in. So I'm not as stunned, I guess. It's kind of weird because when I'm taking in a lot of energy, I kind of just get quiet because my body's trying to process all this energy. But when you do that, you're still gonna have to process that energy that you're taking in. And when you're drinking, I really do feel that the energy that you're taking in, like, you're more susceptible to even like negative energies. And so you're still gonna have to process those energies. So the next day when you're, kind of recovering from drinking, it's like you have to recover from drinking, but also the energy that you took on without being conscious of it. So I feel like it's just a snowball effect. It's like I drink to numb that out, and then I drink more because I can't handle the energies. It's just like it's just a never-ending cycle, it feels like. And I'm becoming aware of this because I stopped drinking this month. Because I feel so much better, I'm telling you. I mean, like my head is more clear, I feel like, and I'm not ignoring emotions, and I don't feel like I'm having these crazy mood swings. Like I feel like I'm able to kind of stay more strong in my stability. Like I feel like my emotions are more stable, and I'm not as controlled by my emotions, because my emotions don't have to like pull at my, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you're ignoring your emotions, they're just gonna get louder and louder because they have to get your attention somehow. So and also the other lifestyle change that I've had is meditation. So it's like, I don't know, it could also be that I'm not craving as much junk food or sugar, because it's not just sugar. I would eat, fast food every, like at least once a week or a couple times a week, I love to get my In-N-Out burger or Taco Bell, right? But recently I have not wanted any of that. Like, no fast food. It doesn't sound good at all. And I feel like it could be a combination with the meditation, because it's like meditation really brings you closer to your soul and your body. So it's like, yeah, but I also feel like it has to do with the drinking, because I'm not numbing the emotions as much, and I don't need food to kind of help me numb the emotion, because food does that too. So it's been amazing. I would 100% recommend it to anybody and to stick to it. So my boyfriend and I did get invited to go to a social event this weekend, and he said that they wanted to meet up at a brewery before, and he was like, yeah, there's a high chance I'll break dry January. He told me this, and I didn't know it would trigger me that much. But it really did kind of bother me, because we did make this commitment together, and I feel like the whole part of it is to kind of challenge yourself and to resist the temptation, even if something comes up, or like, like you're tempted. And it's just to kind of challenge yourself and show strength. And so I kind of just let him know. I tried to, because I don't want to make him feel bad at all. I'm very aware of not wanting to be controlling, right? Like, I don't want to be a controlling girlfriend. But we did make this commitment together, and I feel like there's a difference between holding somebody accountable and being controlling, right? Like, he can do whatever he wants. I'm still gonna love him if he chooses to drink. But I just let him know how I felt about, like, we made this commitment together, and it kind of bothers me that just because he's being invited to a social event, he's just gonna cave in that fast. And when I told him that, he totally understood. He was like, yeah, I understand, like, I'm not gonna drink, you know. I think, and in that moment, like, I felt good about that conversation because I felt like I was keeping him accountable, because in that moment I was the stronger one, and I just, you know, was wanting to keep him accountable because I've been feeling so good during this time. I want him to feel good too, you know? Like, it's not about control. It's just I want the best for us as individuals, and then like our relationship as well. So yeah, it's just like having to have those hard conversations if you commit to something with somebody. But overall, I would totally recommend, you know, taking a month off. Obviously, if you didn't do dry January, I would definitely recommend, you know, taking a month. Do February, it's a shorter month, just to observe how it affects your body. And just, I mean, that's all part of getting to know yourself too, which is super spiritual, understanding yourself through different experiences in life. So, and it's just fun to challenge yourself sometimes. Like, I love a good challenge. So there's that. And also, I do believe that it forces you to get more creative, especially in social events, right? Because in my opinion, I think alcohol makes social events fun just automatically. I think it's so fun to have a drink, like you let loose a little bit. I feel like a different side of me comes out where I'm just like super loving and bubbly and just like talking about whatever. And it's just easier. But when you're not drinking, you kind of have to get creative. And, you know, if the social event isn't going to be fun without alcohol, that's when you have to get creative and be like, okay, how can I make this an enjoyable experience for me personally? And it's like, maybe I'll decide to like make a fun little dessert, or like a healthy, like fun dessert, something that I enjoy to bring so that I can have something to look forward to while I'm there. Or just to be more intentional about conversations that you're having with people, right? Because like when I'm drinking, it's just, I'll talk about anything. Like I'll just, wherever the conversation goes, I just roll with it. But sometimes it's like conversations I would never actually want to have if I was sober. So maybe it's just being more intentional with the types of conversations that you have with people. Or you bring a little fun game or like an art craft to do, you know, to like bring out that creativity. Because I do feel that, because like I said, the alcohol just makes it fun automatically, it can kind of numb out your creativity too. And also, I think it can filter out things that you actually don't want to do, right? So if you get invited to a social event and you're not going to be drinking and you're actually kind of dreading it, it's like maybe you should reevaluate those relationships in your life. I mean, that's kind of a harsh one, but it's kind of true, where it's like, okay, if I'm not drinking, am I going to feel good around these people? Or do I feel like these people are still good for my energy? You know, it just makes you think a little bit deeper about the situations that you're putting yourself in. And I don't know, the creativity part is kind of my favorite, because I think we're not encouraged to be creative in this day and age. I think, you know, everyone's just like, oh, creativity, it's like kind of just something you like put to the side, when really one of our 7 chakras is dedicated to creativity, the sacral chakra. And it's like, that's a full chakra that's dedicated to creativity. And we're just told that it doesn't matter in today's society. That's just not right. It's not right. And we should be exercising our creativity. And unfortunately, when we're distracted by a lot of things in life, it's hard to put energy into that, because it does come off as like a secondary thing. So this kind of forces you to get back into your creativity. We're all creative people, just in different ways. I really thought I wasn't a creative person at all until I quit my 9-to-5 job. And all of a sudden I have all this time to just be creative. And it's like, yeah, the first few weeks of quitting your job, you don't know what you're gonna do, and you're kind of bored, and you're kind of freaking out because you don't know what to do with all this time. But eventually you get into this space of having to be creative, and then you finally unlock that chakra that's been numbed for all these years. So that has been my experience for dry January of 2026, and I am loving it. And honestly, I really do feel like I want this to be an ongoing thing. So I'm excited to see where that takes me. I love the challenge and I love the creativity behind it. So really looking forward to continuing that journey. And I would love to hear your thoughts. If you tried dry January this year, I'd love to hear your experience, or if you're thinking about, going sober, or if you tried it and you hated it, I'd love to hear that too. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!